Welcome back, everyone, to Follow Your Minds with a big old question mark, brains, banter, and being human. We do dibble-dabble in professionalism, but not tonight. I'm Olivia, and this is my lovely business partner,
Andrea. Hello.
And Andrea, please roll out the red carpet for our special guest today.
We have Stevie with us today. Stevie is someone that I have known for a very long time. I don't actually know, Olivia, when you met Stevie, but I would like to say Stevie is probably one of the least hardworking but hardest working person I know. And that is meant as the best compliment ever, because Stevie is someone who works his ass off all the time, but is so nonchalant about it, and it's just like part of his life, and I admire that so much. He is a rad dad and the nerdiest of nerdiest in the cool ways. So that's who we have here. Olivia, do you have anything to add to introducing Stevie today?
I would say probably one of our, if not our favorite, male therapists out there.
Yes, that.
Like your favorite first child?
Essentially, I actually think Stevie was one of my first ever supervisees.
First ever?
Was one of my very first ever ones.
Wow,
Yeah.
dang.
Yeah.
It was an honor, and I mean that very genuinely. There was a lot of joking responses that I had to like filter back to get to the genuine one, but it really was. Anyway, it's very nice to be here. Thank you for having me on. It's an honor, truly.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, so since we've actually already broken into that topic, is that Andrea used to supervise you, this is a very important question. Mm-hmm. What was the worst part about having Andrea as a supervisor? I just need to get this out right out of the gate.
It was the flatulence. It unending.
I knew it.
The funniest thing is that there's going to be people listening to this that are going to be like, yeah, that tracks.
Well, it wouldn't be my experience. I don't think you ever farted on camera, or around me for that matter, but...
That you know of.
Not that I know of. That is true. That's the beauty of telehealth, is nobody can smell anything.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question? I was so
What
caught
was
up in
the
my
worst
response.
part about having Andrea as a supervisor?
Oh, okay.
Do you want a second go? Okay, second joke.
Yeah,
you go.
Okay.
What's
On the spot? Let me think. I don't know. There really wasn't anything. I don't think she all the stuff that she said about me, I would say about her. She was the intern director and held she spun so many plates and did it very admirably, and just showed up and was very present and very human and very honest. And so I can't really think of anything off the top of my head, and I don't mean that I'm trying to be politically correct. Genuinely, it was a great experience, so much so that I'm coming back for supervision, which as a supervisor, for which you have to get hours in. So yeah. Right. I don't know, I'm sorry that didn't give you anything, Olivia.
Ugh, I know, you suck. It's okay. I can ask you a question I asked Norma, which was similar, but what was the worst part about having me as a boss?
I don't know. I was going to come up with
also
another joke. Also
the flatulence?
I know.
No, we can't. Andrea and I cannot be the same for everything.
This is like the wiener
I refuse.
It's just going to be flatulence the whole time. I can't even say that word right now. Flatulent. Whatever. I'm going to give up.
Okay.
Anyways, continue.
Yeah. You had Taco Bell. It's near and dear to your heart right now. You don't need to be able to say it.
But you will hear it. It was also great. I don't know. I don't have anything. I'm sorry. The question was the same question about you. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, as a boss.
Yeah,
what do you want? Do you guys want to fight with each other? Is that the goal?
Yeah.
No, we want to fight with you. Verbally.
Yeah.
Right
you want
to
fight with me? No, I don't know. I don't think there was anything. I kept asking for raises, and you didn't give me those, so that was, probably the biggest one. But you also said, good job asking, keep asking, but I can't give you one. So I don't know. It's not really, I'm not going to critique that. That's fair. And I appreciate, one of the things I really appreciated about both of you that you do really well in this podcast is that you guys are, I came into this profession not knowing, thinking it had to be very sterile, and to see the vulnerability that you both presented was really like just like honestly like a healing experience. And I don't know, for me in particular, like I came out of another profession that I felt was not very honest. It was in like religion, and so I struggled with that a lot. And so to come into counseling, I kind of expected that to be sort of the same flavor. And you guys really like displayed a genuineness that allowed for vulnerability that I wasn't really expecting. And it made me really appreciate it. And so, I mean, I stayed with the group for a very long time just simply because of the two of you. So
I appreciate that. I mean, it's sweet in one way, but also like, I can't keep things to myself if I tried. You know what I mean? Like, I can't keep up appearances. I can't keep up a facade. Like, what you see is what you get. You know what I mean? Like, I like appreciate you saying that, but like, I have a hard enough time keeping it together. Why would I try to spend my capacity being something different? You know what I mean?
yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's just, most thoughts that are here are out, so I don't know what to say, you know?
My partner the other day, she goes, you know, one of the things I've noticed about you and people that have trauma in their lives is you guys just like, there's a lot of oversharing that happens, just like talking about anything that happens, like comes into your mouth, like into your mind, it just comes out your mouth. And I was all, okay. It's not like, well, I don't know how to take that. Like, what does that mean? Like as a counselor, I'm all, oh, it's like struck a chord in so many ways.
How did you not immediately turn around and be like, so how does that make you feel?
I enjoy not sleeping on the couch. No, I'm just joking. She would have literally probably just
laughed. Yeah.
I mean, we were walking into Target, so I don't know how far we can go to carry that conversation.
I have heard people ask me that before, where they're like, you just say it all the time. Like, how does that translate into being a therapist? Don't you have to just be like silent the whole time? And I'm like, clearly you haven't been to a good therapist. I mean, I don't overshare with clients, but like, you know.
Yeah, I think the episode where you guys were talking about the like having to hold back aspects when you like feel something is like really hard, and I definitely resonated with that because I was like, oh yeah, that is like I live my life on my sleeve due to the trauma and ADHD in my own life, which translates I think really well when I resonate well with clients, and it can look like oversharing if I'm not really careful about it. So it's like a real tension point, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's funny. I mean, like, in my personal life, most people don't see me as a therapist or, like, even imagine me as one. So the idea of, like, oh, like, you overshare or whatever, that doesn't really come up. It's usually like, wow, that joke was darker than I've ever heard a joke made. Like, are you okay? Or, like, you do therapy? Like, you're a therapist and you made a, like, I don't know, like a 9/11 joke. And I'm like, yeah,
This is in client or with clients?
No. I mean, like okay. in my personal life.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah.
Did you imagine?
Cool. Yeah, I actually made a 9/11 joke with a client today. Thanks for asking. It's like this reminds me of The Office, where he's like, "Is it 9/11?" He's like, "Yeah, like." Michael Scott's like, oh, like 9/11 like just became funny. Like you could just joke about it. Was it 9/11 or something else? Oh my gosh, I can't remember it. That's really gonna bother me. Oh my goodness.
Let you in on a secret. I've only watched The Office once when I was like 15.
It's okay.
Honestly, you know, you were talking about, man, I'm really refreshed on all of your podcasts, so I'm just referencing all of them. But you were talking about like ADHD, like tics and icks, and one of them is watching shows where the main character is stupid and it's like part of like built in
the bit.
You know, like the Michael Scotts and the Parks and Rec. Like it is physically painful for me to watch those types of shows, and I don't know,
really
something about it.
That's funny. You just named like Olivia's favorite show and my favorite show separately.
Okay. Have you seen New Girl? Because that's one of our combined favorite shows. Have you seen New Girl?
I have seen New Girl, yeah. I've watched it once. It was good. I don't think that there's that character really in it. I mean, Zooey Deschanel's kind of that character, but...
Kind of. She's absolutely that character.
Yeah.
Oh, you think so? Okay.
She's an absolute dumb shit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And Schmidt? Throw in Schmidt in
there?
Yeah. Come on.
Schmidt is definitely...
But Schmidt's hilarious.
Maybe that's why I've only watched it once.
That's a good one.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is a good question that like leads off what we're talking about. what is your like what is a guilty pleasure of yours?
Man, a guilty pleasure of mine? I don't know. Honestly, like I would love to I would love to have one that was like carried through for all my life, but like having like ADHD, I have like the one that I'm doing now. It's great. And then I have the net one I'll probably do in a year from now, and it'll be great. I have the one I did last year. It was fun too.
You can pick whatever you want. This is not a quiz.
I don't know. I did like well, right now I'm into distilling, which is fun. So I've been trying to do that, which is interesting. So that's been an interesting one that I've really enjoyed.
You look like a distiller.
You're really leaning
They're
into
so-
the like PNW male trope here.
Oh, okay. I don't
Are you
know. I don't
wearing
think that's
shorts
as
right now?
insulting as like maybe some of the other ways that could have went. Like I have all my teeth.
Okay, we didn't say that you're from like remote Appalachia. Like we said
That is kind of where I thought you were going with it.
I could have thrown in a Whatcom County joke in there, but
That
I didn't.
Yeah. That is pretty
that's
close to Appalachia. Appalachia.
Okay, so this is like a therapist-y related question that we asked Norma that we like always want to ask people that are in the field because I always think they're so interesting. Do you have any personally coined terms or phrases that you use as a therapist?
Oh my god, yeah. Like a book. Like literally I have a notes app of just stuff that I've written down that I'm like, oh, this is good. And I keep coming back to them all the time.
Really? That's
Oh,
bro.
100%.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I probably have like 6 or 7 straight sessions of just like psycho ed that I've built up through doing, and mostly ADHD focus. That's my main primary focus. And so it's a lot of like helping people understand themselves and understand how to have compassion on themselves, how ADHD is different in different people and all sorts of stuff. So yeah. Do you guys?
Interesting.
You guys were bewildered or caught, you gave a surprised look.
No, I'm just like
it's the
processing.
organization. Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely the organization. Like I absolutely have them, but I like don't really think about them too much until like I'm in a client says something and I'm like, nah, here we go. It's my time. They ring me in.
That is kind of how it feels. It's all, oh, I got the thing. That's going to be
Yeah.
so helpful if you want it.
Yeah, my autism encyclopedia one is like mine, where I'm like, oh, I get to tell you about the encyclopedia metaphor, and people go like, what?
That's in
It's
mine.
great.
I've stolen that from you. Yeah, it's great.
Yay! Do you
Yeah,
have one off the
appreciate
top
that
of your head that you use like all the time?
Yeah, I mean, I have a bunch of them. I think, like, suds and spoon theory, I come back to with a lot of clients because it's just so
You
good.
didn't coin
Sorry, that doesn't. No. But you want something I specifically coined?
Yeah.
One of the things I
Yes.
specifically coined is that I think that most people's origin of all diagnoses come down to the way they process anxiety. And the way that you process anxiety tends to be one of 3 things. They don't go in order, but you do tend to gravitate towards one. And it's control for control, apathy as control, and escape for control. And so if you correlate them, they often look like depression, anxiety, and ADHD. And of course, you don't like go from one to the next. You're going to like go from whatever's the easiest. And so if you think of the parasympathetic nervous system, like freeze fawns at the top and fight flights in the middle. And so of course, you're going to like control to control first. But when you look at like your like complex post-traumatic stress disorder, if you grew up in a traumatic situation, you're going to find that one of those you might have gravitated towards more to find like a sense of yourself and a way to survive. And so then in times of stress, those tend to be like the things that you kind of head towards.
Maybe we should have taken shots before this.
I feel like I just got therapized a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like my phrases are fucking dumb. Do you want to hear mine? No, I'll just put it out there because you just were like, here's my little script spiel and I'm gonna like fix your childhood life. Okay, yeah, literally the one that came to mind. You're like, oh, do you have any? Yeah, I'll tell you my dumbass one. This is like one I like coined years and years ago. I worked a lot with like anxiety and depression. I don't work with that quite as much anymore, but I coined the phrase "feelings aren't facts."
Ooh, that's good. Yes.
And like just talking about how it's okay to have the whole range of emotional experiences, and it does not inherently mean that they are facts and that should be used as a scale or a guide to make your decisions or make you like think the decision you have made is the right one or the best one.
That's great. That's totally good. You just had the same thing. You just summarized it in like 3 words. I'm gonna add that to my list.
No, you can't. That's not yours. It's mine.
And it'll say credited to somebody that used to be my friend. No, that's great though. I like it. It kind of reminds me of respond, don't react to your emotions.
I think I gave you that
Heard
one.
that? I was gonna say I think Andrea gave you that one. Also a friend that used to be my friend.
That's the one. That's the one that comes
graveyard
to my
of
mind.
friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just took it from you. I'm like, all right, Andrea, come up with one. You're all, shit.
Well, right now you are the worst guest we have had. I'm just kidding.
Just stealing all of our content and therapizing us, and I'm just kidding.
I also, this is part of my like nerdy side of being a therapist, like where my nerdy side comes out, I guess, as a therapist, I should say, is I like coming up with terms or phrases that are alliterations because I'm actual like wild person. Feelings aren't facts is one, like anxiety equals avoidance, that's another. Like I'll talk about like what's your reaction and what's your response, like reaction and response, things like that.
Yeah.
But that's again because I'm like, ooh, how can I make things start with the same letter?
They're so good though. Then they really like connect. Oh wow. They really connect, I think, with a lot of clients as well. Just helping them like come back to just something that's really simple that they can kind of pull and carry with them.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear something very? I don't know. I've never told anybody this, but I remember when I first started. Not even first started. This is probably like 6 months ago. So whatever. One time I just Googled like fun things that people have learned from their therapist on Reddit. Have you guys ever done that? And then I'm like, shit, this is good. I'm just like writing stuff down. And it's like all these like great little alliterations that I can pull from.
Oh my gosh, that's great. That is great. I have Googled things before where I've been like, how do I deal with this? Like, what do I do as a therapist?
Oh man. You guys ever Google in session? Be like, I don't know what that word is. And then you like have to look it up. I do too. I think it's actually one of the modern great things about telehealth that you get as an option is just to be able to like make sure you're on the same page, share things back and forth.
Yeah.
If there's any word that I don't like, I don't think there's really. I mean, maybe once or twice the clients used a word that's more like pop culture-y that I just like haven't heard.
And
See, I have really smart clients that make me feel so stupid in like the intellectual realm where I will have to sit and be like, what the hell does that mean? Like I need to know. Like, I don't know what that means. I need to know that I make sure that I'm on the same page. Like, is that what I meant to say? Is that what you meant to say?
Yeah, I do that with I'm like at the age now where I have had like clients bring forward the fact that I just am old and I'm all
Yeah.
gosh, and like using verbiage I don't know, and so I'm like and I like have to like go to like be a good therapist, swallow your pride, and be like, I'm so sorry, I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it's just like a colloquialism that I should know, but I don't. And I try to justify it on the fact that I am not on social media, but I think deep down we all know it's just being 37.
I think it's just that you're dumb. Yeah, that's what it usually boils down to for me too.
Yeah.
Man, we went one layer deeper, and I'm not ready to go into my childhood trauma.
We don't need to go there. We've already established the outcome. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Man.
Goodness. Okay, are you ready for the next question? These are all like related to the field, but a little bit more random. But do you feel ready for the next question?
I think so. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, you tell me. Do I get like a pass or mulligan?
No.
You have to. You must answer the question.
Okay.
What kind of client do you like working with? This is technically the question I wrote down.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of client tickles you pink?
Makes me what? Pink?
Tickles you pink.
He calls me pink. I did not think pink. I don't know where we were going there. Anyway.
We were going to the ethics board with the way that you were going.
Really caught me off guard. I did not know where we were. Yeah, I did not. Woof, woof. Okay, here we go. I really enjoy. I have like definitely like clients that I'm a lot more comfortable with. I do enjoy like I think it really comes down to like the personality of the client and kind of where they're at. But that does tend to be like a lot of ADHD focus. I have ADHD, and so I feel like I can go at a pace that is a lot more synonymous with just my personality. And so I would probably say, yeah, people with ADHD or anxiety tend to be the ones that I focus on the most.
Yeah. I love hearing that from you too, because like I remember at the beginning of your process in becoming a therapist, like I think there were moments where you're like, I don't know how to work with ADHD, I don't know how to work with these people, and now you're over here like, these are my favorite clients. I'm like, there was a time.
I remember it vividly. It's very scary when you start off. You like do all this book work and then they're just like, all right, I mean, you're in school still, but you're still like seeing real people, and you're in, like I think what you did was great, which was kind of trying to make sure that I had a variety of different clients to have to explore different avenues of sort of myself and my type of therapy that I kind of gravitated towards. And it was really helpful and very scary. I don't
You had a very diverse caseload for a really long time, and like some of the issues that you worked with were out of my scope too, and we learned together, so it was fun. But it's cool to see you figure that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Oh, it's okay. I was just saying it was like cool to see you like kind of narrow in on something that feels really good.
Yeah, and I definitely feel that. I think that related to the question I was going to ask, which is, do you guys think that you kind of become stuck in a way? Like in the beginning, like I was teaching, I teach at a university, and so I get all these like small students and they're talking about it, and they're so scared. And there's something so pure about that state of vulnerability, I think, that like allows you to be so open with clients, not like just in your being really cautious and careful, giving a lot of space to the client, allowing them to really process and work through things at their rate. And I feel like as I've gotten older and more like understanding of the type of clients that I work with, there can be a point where I sort of push faster than I would have when I was younger. And I don't know if that's a good thing. It's something I've really started to think about.
I mean, I definitely think within my like career development that I've gotten a little bit more direct or more forward, or more like I'm able to move through issues a lot easier. Like I can look back on situations where I was like, I just don't know what to do with these people, and like feeling a lot more stuck, like kind of like what you said. But I think as I become more seasoned in this, and even with supervision, I think that I've become so much easier at being like, what are all the possible ways that this could go, and like being a little bit more direct and asking maybe questions that made me feel more uncomfortable early on, because that vulnerability of like, I have this question but I'm nervous you're not gonna like the question is just gone.
Yeah,
it's an interesting parallel, because when you brought up the supervising piece, when you mentioned that, I was thinking about my own experience. I think the first year I was a therapist in some ways was kind of a wash for everyone involved a little bit.
Not wrong.
But this is not even right after grad school. This is like transitioning into a therapist role. Like I already had a few years of experience, but like therapeutic role is very different. I feel like actually becoming a supervisor and supervising really forced me to think about things in a lot more of a like existential, philosophical kind of way, in terms of my ability to conceptualize and to like process a client and what they're coming in with. And I think that actually really pushed me to do a lot of things. One of the things that I think it did is it helped me be a lot more articulate around my therapeutic approach and what I was pulling on and when I was pulling on it and why I was pulling on it. The why, I think, was really critical in that. So I think it made me get really good at that, or, well, a lot better. But I think it forced my hand to really refine my therapeutic approach, because in general, I think the way I approach clients is a lot of the way I approach supervision. And I think if they were too much different, that would be really bizarre and weird. And I think that would really stick out and just be disingenuous all the way around. So I think supervising like really pushed me to think a lot more critically, know why I was doing what I was doing, what I was doing. And in that process have just become, I like to, not just like more direct, but I just like to say like more active in the session. Maybe not like engaged or like listening, you know, it's just like more like active. Yeah. Like I'm responding more, I'm emoting more, I'm asking more questions. Like I'm just a lot more active and like participatory in the session than I think I definitely started out as, for sure.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and very much resonate with both those perspectives. Yeah. And I think that that's probably what I would articulate it half as good. Half as good? I mean, there you go. As the two of you just did.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so since you have caught up on listening to all of our episodes, you know how much we talk about other therapists. What do you think about other therapists? And like think about the field in general.
Ooh, that's a good question. I mean, I think your guys' points on like the DSM-5 and theories, I really appreciate it a lot. I do think there's a lot of, you know, it's such a difficult field in a lot of ways because it needs to be scientific, but it's just like humans being humans and creating like spaces for compassion and acceptance. And that is really hard to articulate in a way that can be monetized, I suppose, if that's the way that you would say it. So I don't know. I would say like other therapists I think are trying to navigate things similarly. I think the next 37, the therapists that I'm seeing that are really young, I'm really excited for. I think there's like a real change in the way that therapy is being received. Partially, I think on the widespread just like acceptance of therapy that we're getting a lot more of now. And so that's creating the field to be something that it couldn't have been earlier, which is really exciting. So yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
That's pretty vague, so I don't know.
I'm going to dig now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So, do you often like talk with other therapists in the field, other than Andrea and I?
Yeah.
You two?
No, other than us.
Well, there's Andrea and Olivia, and then there's Andrea and Olivia, and then... I have probably... That's a good question, too. I think I have probably 10 to a dozen therapists that I kind of keep in contact with and communicate pretty regularly with. And I would say, like, in terms of straight consultation, not a ton. I mean, I could reach out to any of them, but I would say probably just, like, 3 or 4 that I'm, like, referring to and talking to. So I don't know what that means. Now that you've, like, kind of pinned me to a wall and having to, like, create a number, I would say, yeah, I don't know what that means, actually. How many do you guys have? It's hard in private practice. That's why it's, like, very different.
I think we asked this question because Olivia and I talk a lot about like being weird therapist prevention, and the interactions that we've had with therapists have been very like you're either cool or you're like fucking weird. And we've met some cool people in this process of like that are new, you know, we'll have to get some of them on the pod, some of our new friends. And then some of the people that, you know, still stay in contact with us from our group. But, like, we do talk about this a lot. Like, we don't get along with a ton of therapists out there. Like, get along meaning, like, they're not necessarily our people, but we keep our people close. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would wonder how much of that is just neurodiversity, like, meeting people and connecting with them. Because... like, I have, like, parts of myself. I don't know if this is, like, maybe I need to go to a therapist and talk about that.
IFS yourself now. Tell me about the parts of you.
Well, I would say, yeah, there's, like, parts of me that are exemplified with certain people that aren't exemplified with others. And so it's really rare to find somebody that I feel like I get to express myself, like, so fully with. And that doesn't happen very often. Yeah, I would say with you guys, for sure. And so, yeah, never mind. I was gonna make a joke, but I feel like that's too close to home.
Jokes are welcome here, Stevie, of course. You told me I had flatulence, so see, I still can't say the word.
Yeah, well, that wasn't a joke, so.
Oh my goodness. I did this thing like a while ago. Well, it was like 6 months ago.
I literally was all, you too? And I was like, oh shit, you're quoting me.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's a little bit, it could be a little bit more vulnerable of a question, but you definitely don't have to answer super vulnerably if you don't want to. But we've been talking a little bit about burnout with each other. We talked a little bit about burnout with Norma. So I'd be curious to kind of check in with you. What has your experience been navigating burnout, and like what does burnout look like for you?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think really relevant too. Like,
Because you work so much?
I do work a lot. It's I think really, oh sorry, my dog is on my feet. I didn't expect that. Really caught me off guard. Yeah,
is it hypervigilance?
yeah, this is me dodging the question. No, I think, yeah, like it's a challenge, right? So it kind of depends for each person what they're coming into the field for and what they need out of it. And so like I have like dreams and aspirations. I want to get to a place where I can like afford living here in Seattle, and I want to get to a place where I can like maneuver forward in my career, which was why I've been making the steps that I've been making. That comes with like a certain amount of pressure. I think in an ideal world that didn't like in an ideal world that doesn't have to go into the politics that we have, it's very difficult right now, especially I think for clinicians that take insurance, and I do. And it's really difficult even if you don't take insurance, because then you have all of this advertisement that you have to do that's not billed, and there's a lot more that's just not billed. And so getting to a situation where you're like stable is the hope. I would say the burnout is really, I think everybody has to find like what they need and what they're capable of, and then find that line. And so for me, I have to be really diligent with myself and my self-care, and it was easier when I didn't have a kid, but I do have a kid, so it's more of a challenge, I think, at this point. But it's also very important because you're trying to meet all these expectations and goals for yourself, and so to do that, you have to kind of juggle all these things. Also, I would say like I have ADHD that really shows itself in productivity. I find a lot of my worth in getting to a place where I'm really proud of myself, and so that needs a lot of effort. And that is something that I'm like actively working on, is trying to deconstruct and reconstruct that into something that I think is more healthy.
Yeah. It kind of leads into like a question I'd be curious to hear about, because I'm guessing probably Andrea already knows the answer to this question, but I don't know if I would necessarily know this question. But why this field? What's your like cheesy therapist answer to like, why therapy?
Is this on your list, or did you just throw this out after what I said?
It's related to a question on our list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I chose this field. I have like, there's a very large part of me that, if we're talking IFS, right, there's a large part of me that finds myself and my self-worth in the ability to like show up and be there for people, which is where it really conforms to productivity and being able to show up for myself, and with so much vigor, and then in turn accomplishment. So in both those things, I don't think that those are inherently unhealthy. It's just a matter of like identifying within myself really what's the underlying part of me that's like where that's coming from. And so I love therapy. I enjoy it very much. I talk about it constantly. When I have a beer, my partner will call it therapy buzz, because I just talk. It like exudes. I really enjoy it, and I think it's just like so cool to be able to just create, like help people find words that they didn't know, to be able to like help identify parts of themselves that they didn't see. And that is just like really like this is such a unique field to be able to do something like that. And so yeah.
Can you remember a moment before getting into this field where you were like, I want to go be a therapist? Was there a moment for you?
Oh yeah, definitely a lot of them. I mean, when I told my family, I remember my dad was like, "Finally," and so I think that that probably says more than anything else. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
like even in high school, there was like a part of me that found myself in being able to try to be there for people, and then in turn they were there for me, and that was like what I purposely didn't go to Running Start so as to like try to continue on with that community because it meant so much to me. And so, and then whatever, 18 more years of versions of that.
Yeah.
Do you have I'm guessing, I mean, I don't know if you would have like a direct answer for this question because you love therapy so much. Is there a favorite part that you have about being in this field?
Uh, I don't know, this is so cheesy. It's so,
You don't
We
have to
love cheese in
qualify it.
here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ham it up.
I think like helping people is like, okay, so if I'm gonna be, this is interesting. I never really thought about this. I never put these two together, but the whole like aspect of myself, right, is like finding myself through what I'm doing and then trying to articulate that and really identify where that's coming from inside myself. And so a lot of what I do inherently is to like benefit other people or myself. And so I think that helps in a lot of, because counseling is just like holding space for people, and I love that. But also, I would say, like, for me in particular, I really love just like the learning aspect of this field in particular. There's so much always happening, and there's so much more to continue to grow. And so the element of me like doing that for myself and then being able to like share that with other people is really attractive.
Yeah.
Learning.
Yeah.
The cheesy
I
answer.
remember in supervision with you, like that was something that you and I think bonded over a lot was this like drive for learning.
Mhm.
You and I both want to go on to be teachers. I mean, you are teaching right
Yeah.
now, Lucky. Um,
Yeah.
but like that was something that I remember us talking about. And if I had to answer that question for you, it would have been that, which is like Stevie likes to learn. Stevie is a scholar of therapy in a weird way, right? Like that's totally
That's very
accurate
true.
to you.
Yeah. I feel like a version of that I would say is like it might sound a little bit weird to say it in this way, but like I like being a collector of stories.
Mm.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
Don't take it from me.
I'm, I'm
Put that
I'm
notes app down.
learning that this is great.
Because I love the learning piece too, but, and
Hmm.
this is something I'll talk about again and again. Traditional learning is like a real crap fest for me.
Hmm.
And so I think one of my favorite things about being a therapist is like how much I learn from other people.
Yeah.
Like from my clients, from the people I supervise. Like it is so amazing to me the things that I get to bear witness to. And yeah, like totally the space that you hold. Yeah, absolutely. Like being a collector of people's stories, yeah, but like
Hmm.
how much you learn from people inherently, and then you like learn about yourself too, which is like an even bigger gift than people might realize. Like I talk about this in relation to parenting. I'm like, hey, parenting, if you let it, is a like humbly, like an aggressively humbling experience. And I think it can really force you to look inwards and like deal with stuff you may or may not have realized was there before. And I think it's a little bit more of a unique human experience that kind of forces that a little bit, or you could just remain completely unaware and just live blissfully in ignorance, which sometimes I wish I could be that.
Yeah.
But I feel like being a therapist, that's part of it too. It's like you're learning from people and clients, but then you're like learning more about yourself that you would have like otherwise and probably never even learned about, which is like
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah,
Man,
definitely.
that's so good. Yeah. I'm not gonna steal that, but I will say it's really like it's
Sure.
challenging, I think, in a way because I think sometimes that reverence can get lost if you do spend a lot of time learning because with learning comes this kind of assumption of an answer. And so
Mm.
continuing to like maintain the beauty that it is to just be able to be present in somebody's story
Hmm.
is really powerful and very, very important, more so than any kind of educational aspects that you might be able to provide, just because they are real. Somebody's real life that is sharing that with you, and that's so powerful and so intense. And so it's a good challenge for me. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you
Great
know
answer.
me, just I love to challenge you constantly, so it works out.
Thanks, Olivia. That's why I'm here. Nothing
You're
like a
welcome.
public podcast.
Oh my goodness. Kind of like related to that, have there been any like unexpected challenges that you have had to work through in this field?
I mean, starting a private practice was brutal. That was. I mean,
It
you
seems
guys
like
have
a
an
common.
episode
What?
on it.
That
You
seems
don't
like a
say.
common denominator.
It is so.
Yeah.
Like, even going from group to private, I thought that there would be like there would be elements that would make it easier, and there, like, the therapy side is really important, and it's nice to have the support in group to be able to explore that part of you. But then the business side of entrepreneurially trying to understand how to do insurances and business licenses and advertisements and making a website and getting photos done, and like, yeah, I have this very distinct memory of remembering where I was in group. I think I've already shared this with you, but yeah, a very distinct memory where I was in group and I just couldn't click a button. It was just like one check because I was so afraid that by clicking it, it was going to erase my paneling for the group that I was a part of to start the paneling for my independent practice. And I wasn't ready to just quit yet. And so I was in this weird spot where I was like, I didn't know how to move forward. And I just waited for 2 weeks just sitting there stressing about it. And it was just one button. So that sucked. I did not enjoy that.
Private practice is such a pickle, isn't it?
It's, yeah. And it's like, you kind of like understand it a little bit more, but it's still a pickle. I don't know.
Yeah. Are your other 10 to 12 people that you know, are they in private practice?
Isn't it like 8 if you subtract us? Like,
Oh, yeah. So, is it better if I have a larger number or a smaller number? What are you looking for? How do
I don't know.
How do I
Which
map
is better?
myself to fit into the...
Yeah.
A few of them, let me think. 1, 2... Yeah, most of them are in private practice. There's a couple that are in group, but I would say most of them are, in private practice or in education. A couple of them are in education. So
yeah.
Yeah. I found that, like, people are either just hardcore private practice or they do, like, private practice and supplement, like they teach, like you. Gross.
I mean, I think for
me.
me, I have to diversify, or I just, you asked what hobby I'm into, and it changes. And so if I'm not careful to make sure that I'm diversifying my profession and I think that's also a thing that I really like about this is there is so much to continually learn that it has kept me really stimulated and really excited. But then also, trying to diversify into other avenues where counseling is applicable is really going to be helpful for me in the long term. But that's not everybody.
Yeah. But you're right. Like, navigating into private practice there's so many questions that, like, come up, and diversifying your work. Like, Andre and I have talked about this so many times. It's so helpful for us to have different kinds of things that we're doing because that keeps us engaged on a day-to-day basis. So it's not just, like, same thing day in, day out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say I'm really grateful that I got to explore private practice with Andrea and do it with her, because the amount of, like, self-doubt that could come up is insane.
Yes.
And so I felt like whenever she was doubting herself, I was like, oh no, we got this, easy, like, it'll be good, we like, cool. And every time I'd be like, I don't know what to do about this thing, she'd be like, oh yeah, no, it's all good, like, we got this. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so nice,
And
though. I would have killed for that.
we've been here the whole time. No, I'm just kidding.
Why did you say no? And no.
Yeah, this is actually a partnership agreement arrangement, and oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
I mean,
that's weird.
I commend you for doing it on your own, because just like Olivia said, the number of conversations that Olivia and I went back and forth on, like the self-doubt or like the fear or the...
And still,
yeah.
right,
We sent
like, just to, like, highlight.
voice memo. Yeah, just
Yeah.
constantly
Yeah.
like, dude, I'm like, I don't know what to do about this. Am I overthinking this? And then Olivia's like, yeah, dude, it's not that difficult. Like,
Or I'll be like, yeah, that's really confusing, like, but, like,
Yeah,
things like that still
validating.
happen all the time. It's like, well, why is
Yeah.
this insurance saying that the copay is this when over here it says the copay is that? And, like, just there's things that still come up. So even though we're, like, running and rolling and all the things, like, it's still, like, and it's not constant, but it feels like it's constant questions.
Yeah. And like when I did it, right, I still had people that I could talk to, but none of them are in the same situation. And so they're talking to me like within the confines of their capacity. And that's what I would like. I think if I did it again, I would have. It's hard. I don't know. It's hard to say. I really needed the 2 years in group, and but it would have been really nice to also have a supervisor like that had a private practice that you could spend some of that time to kind of like ask and bounce off some of those questions. And so, shoot, this is the wrong crowd to talk to about that.
Wow, why don't you just backhand Andrea across the face?
No, I think I would say, like, again, I would come back to the fact that those 2 years were, like, so instrumental, and I loved it. I think if Andrea left earlier, I would have left earlier and done it as well.
Yeah, Stevie was constantly like, so when are you leaving? When are we leaving? Like, I can replay that in my head, like, over and over and over again, the number of times Stevie was like, so when are you and Olivia doing something? So when are you doing something? How can we move away together? Like...
Yes, I very much did that.
And I think at that time with you, Stevie, I was like, oh, I'm never leaving.
Yeah, it was.
Here we are.
I mean, it's, yeah, without going into that, there was like a moment where I was like very excited about it and really saw like a future there. But then, yeah, when it came to the realization of needing to go to private practice, it was then suddenly like, okay, well, how do you do this? And that was like, it's just very hard. Especially if you're starting in group practice, because all the people you know are in group practice. They're in usually that group. And so you have to like go find people that are in independent practice that are like there. Luckily, I rented an office that had some other counselors, and they were able to like give me some resources and answer some questions. But again, it was really like within the capacity that they had. And so it's a challenging thing. And so, you know, I think for your podcast, it's something that I think a lot of people are going to resonate with as they're trying to navigate that, because so many people want that. It makes a lot of sense, like fiscally, but it's just very challenging. It's very hard to move forward.
Yeah. You'd like to think the information on starting it would be more like transparent and accessible.
Yes, exactly.
Why is it gate kept so freaking intensely?
I had a guy call me from the state that, like, I don't know, man, that dude was on the spectrum. He was uncompromising that I was breaking the law and that I was going to pay thousands and thousands of dollars. And I was real scared. And he was quite aggressive. And so once he calmed down, we were able to get through it. And it was just like a bunch of stuff that I just needed to fill out that I didn't make nearly enough to qualify for any kind of thing that was actually charging me. But it's terrifying. Like, you have those experiences pretty regularly and you're like, you have no idea. And nobody's really there to, like, those people don't have, like, it's not their job to show that. So you would hope that there would be somebody to do that. And I guess an accountant maybe would, I don't know, there's probably some therapist that's listening to this and is just screaming right now because there's probably like a really easy answer. But there wasn't anything that, like, there's nobody that told me it. I didn't know. Well, I still don't.
And I'm finding, like, as, you know, Olivia and I are doing this podcast and as we're, like, you know, marketing for supervision and all of this, I'm getting ads for, like, private practice coaches. Like, people who have previously been a therapist who, like, have grown their business to a 6-figure business or whatever. But I'm like, I can't afford to pay you to business coach me in something that I do very well already. Like, it feels like a weird area, but at the same time, like, I'm also finding so much pleasure in supporting some of these new associates on building their private practice and, like, offering that. And I know Olivia and we have talked a lot about, like, how do we offer this at, like, a reasonable, I don't know, reasonable cost or a reasonable accessibility level or whatever, because just like you were saying, Stevie, there isn't that. And some programs, like some school programs, are slowly starting to add private practice education into them, but it's just not common. And KCREP doesn't require it, and, you know, other school requirements don't require it. But, like, it is something that we put on a pedestal in this field. So why aren't we talking about it, right? Why isn't it more accessible? And I think that's something that we talk about here and there all the time.
Yeah.
And I think it's like capitalism. I think that's why it's not as accessible, because people monetize it because they want to diversify their income, because private practice is hard. They want to make a living wage, or they want to, like, make more money, which is totally reasonable. I mean, Andre and I talk about this a lot of, like, how can we be transparent? I'm like, it can be a hard balance for us when we have people reach out like, hey, can I consult with you about XYZ? And it's literally like, I would do this for free all day long. But having to like charge that person a consultation fee is like, oh, just like take a rib for me. Like just take a piece of my body. And it's hard. I hope that like as we continue to grow our business, there will be things that we won't need to monetize. You know, so like we can make things more transparent, we can make things more accessible, right? Like we want to do that as much as possible and, you know, still afford living. But I think that's part of why is like people have to they don't have to, but they choose to monetize it because private practice is hard and there's a demographic for it. Like there's a need.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's why like it's I think really common for people to become people like trainers, like people who do continuing ed, because like everyone needs continuing ed. Like there's a market for it. Like we're all captive to have to do it. So it's like lucrative.
Totally.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, if you're not, and that's, I mean, this could be like a whole podcast, more than one podcast would just be my frustrations with insurance as a whole and like how therapists are paid and like how, you know, like your clients don't know that you're not actually getting the wage that you're setting out. You know, you're just getting what you agreed to with that insurance company, and that is literally just set based off of their idea of what fair market is. And so it's going to create such a terrible environment of gatekeeping because all these people have to monetize themselves in order to continue. Or you just don't do insurance, which is fine, but you're still going to be needing to charge for the same thing, and you're still going to be gatekeeping because you have to make money because you don't have near the amount of clients because of the struggle
and then
with
you're
insurance.
and I like more power to the people that are seeing clients without insurance, but like that's something Andrea and I discussed a long time ago. Access is really important to us. People access mental health care through their insurance. And so it's important to us to be panel with a variety of insurances so that we create more access. But you do have to be okay with the headache that brings on. And I'm not trying to like shit on the therapists that don't work with insurances. Like, I totally get why. Trust me.
Yeah.
We get it. Like, we totally get why. And like, to us, like, that's a hill we're going to die on. Access is a hill I'm going to die on. Yeah. And it'll be a brutal death, but I will do it because like, that's how important access is to me as like a value. But
totally.
It totally comes with heartache. Absolutely.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think I wouldn't blame anybody that goes that route, and I have a lot of friends that do it, and I think that it's great. They do a great job. You know, they offer sliding skills. It's not like you're not dehumanized because you're not doing insurance.
Right.
But I would say, like, the struggle being that you're not, like, that clinicians are in a position where they have to do that because they can't make enough with insurance, and insurance has so many hoops that you have to go through, not just as a counselor, but also as a client. It's just, like, criminal, and that's, you know, that's the world we live in, and that's where I would come back to that question of, like, how I navigate burnout. It's a really fine line because this is a very hard, it's not, you see it from the outside and it looks like a very lucrative career, and it can be if you do it right, but it can, for the most part, it's a career, and you're helping people, and that's why you came in here, ultimately.
Right. Yeah,
for sure.
Totally. Well, before we enter into probably like the next hour of chatting, would you ever come back to the podcast? Would you ever revisit the verbal turmoil that you have endured?
Let me think. How do I say this nicely? No, I'm just joking. 100%. I love like trauma with a little T. It's great.
Wait, you can say things nicely?
Oh, trauma with a big T?
No, we don't want to get out our T's and compare them. So
let's keep it PG, guys. Like
yeah, it's a little
absolutely too much.
Pink.
Thanks for being here and letting us ask you random questions and talk with us about being in the field. Obviously, we think you're really cool and great, and so it's super fun to like talk in a more meaningful way about what we do instead of just like talk shit. Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know. I felt like, do you feel like this is a different podcast than normal? I mean, you are asking me questions. I'm the one primarily talking, so I guess that's probably very different.
Well, it's different than our typical flow, which is like we choose a topic and we talk about it. But choosing one topic would be so boring for a guest.
Yeah.
Well, no.
Yeah, we could just talk about.
Well, maybe if we bring you back, we'll like focus on a topic or something, or maybe we'll have you back for a rabbit trail episode, which is coming up.
Man,
those are dangerous, man. They're
a
so
lot
fun.
of rabbit trails.
Well,
no, thank you so much. Honestly, this has been such an awesome thing, and you guys are doing such a great job. Not just like professionally, but also in the podcast, which is also professional.
I was like, we're doing great personally. Are you watching me?
Like, what's happening?
To the professional? No. I didn't mean to separate those two. This is also a professional endeavor, and it's a really great podcast, and I'm just really excited to be your friends. Please keep me as your friends.
Because your voice cracked, we'll keep you.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Well, Stevie, hang tight, but we want to thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Brilliant Minds. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the things. Leave us your questions. If you're somebody who works in the field and wants to be interviewed by the craziness that is us, please let us know. And yeah, that's us.
We'll see you all next time. Except Stevie, he'll be gone.
Well, yeah.
Bye. Bye. This podcast is for entertainment, informational, and educational purposes only. Although the hosts are licensed therapists, this podcast is not a substitute for professional mental health services. Listening to this podcast does not create a therapist-client relationship.
If you are experiencing mental health concerns, please seek help from a qualified mental health professional in your area. If you are in crisis, call or text a suicide prevention line in your country immediately. In the U.S., you can call or text 988 or use online chat at 988lifeline.org.